Hi, I am Girish Krishnani, and you are watching 5-Minute Learnings. Welcome to the third video in the series on theories of personality development. Today, we'll explore Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development. He proposed that intelligence grows and develops through a series of stages. Older children do not just think more quickly than younger children. The differences are both qualitative and quantitative. Piaget's stage theory states that cognitive development involves changes in both process and abilities. In his view, early cognitive development involves processes based upon actions, and later switches to changes in operations. Sensorimotor stage, birth to 2 years. During this earliest stage of cognitive development, infants and toddlers acquire knowledge through sensory experiences and manipulating objects. A child's entire experience at the earliest period of this stage occurs through basic reflexes, senses, and motor responses. Children get to know the world through movements and sensations, learn about the world through basic actions such as sucking, grasping, looking, and listening, learn that things continue to exist even when they cannot be seen, object permanence. Realize that they are separate beings from the people and objects around them, realize that their actions can cause things to happen in the world around them. Pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. The foundations of language development may have been laid during the previous stage, but the emergence of language is one of the major hallmarks of the pre-operational stage of development. A child begins to think symbolically and learn to use words and pictures to represent objects, tend to be egocentric and struggle to see things from the perspective of others, getting better with language and thinking, but still tend to think in very concrete terms. Children become much more skilled at pretend play during this stage of development, yet they continue to think very concretely about the world around them. Concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years. While children are still very concrete and literal in their thinking at this point in development, they become much more adept at using logic. The egocentrism of the previous stage begins to disappear as kids become better at thinking about how other people might view a situation. They begin to think logically about concrete events, begin to understand the concept of conservation, that the amount of liquid in a short, wide cup is equal to that in a tall, skinny glass, for example. Thinking becomes more logical and organized, but still very concrete. Begin using inductive logic, or reasoning from specific information to a general principle. Formal operational stage, 12 years and beyond. The final stage of Piaget's theory involves an increase in logic, the ability to use deductive reasoning, and an understanding of abstract ideas. At this point, adolescents and young adults become capable of seeing multiple potential solutions to problems and think more scientifically about the world around them. They begins to think abstractly and reason about hypothetical problems, begins to think more about moral, philosophical, ethical, social, and political issues that require theoretical and abstract reasoning, begins to use deductive logic, or reasoning from a general principle to specific information. It is important to note that Piaget did not view children's intellectual development as a quantitative process. That is, kids do not just add more information and knowledge to their existing knowledge as they get older. Instead, Piaget suggested that there is a qualitative change in how children think as they gradually process through these 4 stages. At age 7, children don't just have more information about the world than they did at age 2. There is a fundamental change in how they think about the world. Piaget suggested several factors that influence how children learn and grow. Schemas. A schema describes both the mental and physical actions involved in understanding and knowing. Schemas are categories of knowledge that help us to interpret and understand the world. In Piaget's view, a schema includes both a category of knowledge and the process of obtaining that knowledge. As experiences happen, this new information is used to modify, add to, or change previously existing schemas. For example, a child may have a schema about dogs. That they are small, furry, and have 4 legs. Suppose then that the child encounters an enormous dog. The child will take in this new information, modifying the previously existing schema to include these new observations. Assimilation. The process of taking in new information into our already existing schemas is known as assimilation. In the example above, seeing a big dog and labeling it dog is a case of assimilation. Accommodation. Another part of adaptation is the ability to change existing schemas in light of new information. This process is known as accommodation. New schemas may also be developed during this process. Equilibration. As children progress through the stages of cognitive development, it is important to maintain a balance between applying previous knowledge, assimilation, and changing behavior to account for new knowledge, accommodation. Piaget believed that all children try to strike a balance between assimilation and accommodation using a mechanism he called equilibration. Equilibration helps explain how children can move from one stage of thought to the next. That's all on Piaget's theory of cognitive development. In the next video we shall explore Lev Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory of cognitive development. Hope you found this video helpful. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and follow or subscribe to my channel 5-Minute Learnings. And do remember to hit the bell icon to get notified on new content. Thanks for watching.